Just and reporters.
Yes, we're just getting the cameras in first.
Alright, so I'm just gonna. They're not gonna.
I gotta get the cameras in first. David, eventually, there's a mic. I gotta get the cameras in first. Here. Guys, hold on. I'm doing video right now.
Leave our lives.
I'm doing video. Okay, hold on. Sure, you good? Tom, I'm going to give you this slide when you get there. If you don't have one, step to the side. NYPD press pass.
Does he need this?
Yeah. Tom is coming in. Go ahead, you got it, Tommy.
Ascolta Elisa, ci stanno facendo spostare più vicini. Prima hanno fatto entrare la camera, quindi Leo. Adesso tra poco fanno entrare me. Devi dirlo studio.
Hold on. Where's your camera? Hold on.
Cammina
lungo la strada e vieni
più vicino a me possibile.
NYPD press pass.
Adesso ci fanno entrare.
Sulla strada.
We're gonna get you in. Hold on, Maria. Hold on.
Yeah, so you can hold the spot, yeah.
I have a mic there. Okay.
How's it working now? Better? Away from the crowd?
No, we're here.
Thank you.
Plug in with my last got my last big plug in. I can go lower.
One, two, three. Hey, Ed. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ed. One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey, Al. Hey, Al. Hey, Ed. That's microwave 20. Microwave 20 is already there. It's straight for the press conference. Hello? Who is this? Who is this? Gus? Hey, Gus, look. Microwave 20. Take a look. We at the big press conference here at Time Warner.
1 2.
1 2.
Mic check. Testing 1 2.
You see me?
Mic check. 1
Okay.
2. 1 2.
All right.
Testing 1
Okay.
2.
Cool.
Mic check.
Okay.
Mic check. 1 2. 1 2. 1 2. 1 2. Mic check.
Okay. 1 2. 1 2. Hey, one channel of audio.
Hold on 1 second.
1 2. 1 2. We good, right?
No, we're gonna keep everybody in one neat place. Okay, we have our second camera here. We're gonna go set up David E. Miller outside of this podium area, if you want to take it.
okay to stay in here just to get shots?
Well,
so that I'm not live.
yeah, they're going to come through here. So this is, and the electeds.
She's gonna move from that one. She's not fucking lying.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Everybody has an extra. No gas. I don't give a fuck. Seriously, press pass. Tell everybody to take the press pass out. I don't give a fuck where it's from. If he doesn't have it, he's getting out.
He's got me stuff. He's got back and forth.
Doesn't matter.
Good. I'm right here.
I don't like to take it.
Are they rolling in here?
Might be right there. See?
This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This.
Thank you all. Before I begin, I want to say a few words about the news this morning of suspicious packages being sent to various public figures and a news organization. Many of you and others across our country have asked after me and my family, and I'm very grateful for that. We are fine, thanks to the men and women of the Secret Service who intercepted the package addressed to us long before it made its way to our home. Every day we are grateful for their service and commitment, and obviously never more than today. But it is a troubling time, isn't it? And it's a time of deep divisions, and we have to do everything we can to bring our country together. We also have to elect candidates who will try to do the same, who will set goals that will lift up every single Floridian and American, who will look into the future to understand what are the challenges we have to meet today so that our children and our grandchildren have the quality of life and the opportunities that we hope for them. Usually when people ask me how am I doing, which happens quite often, I say, well, as a person, I'm great. As an American, I'm worried. And it's actually for the same reasons. Partly why I'm so great is because, with no offense to anyone, I have the most fabulous grandchildren in the entire world. But because I do now have these little precious people, I worry about the direction of our country. I worry about what kind of world will be waiting for them when they're teenagers and young adults and beyond. So it's a special pleasure for me to be here to support the candidates that you have running in Florida. I had the great opportunity yesterday to spend time with Andrew Gillum and RJ and with Chris and Kristen King. And I can tell you, you will be in very good hands when Andrew goes. I also said that I have the rare experience of being both a candidate and a spouse. And being a spouse is a lot harder. So I'm excited that RJ and Kristen, who you just saw, will be there in Tallahassee doing everything they can to improve the lives of the people of this state, and particularly the children. I'm also delighted to be here with former Representative Ron Klein. Thank you so much, Ron. And I want Mary Barzee Flores to wave her hand or stand up. And Mary, thank you so much for running in the 25th district. Now, it's always fun for me to be in Florida. I first came to Florida when I was 10 years old, driving down here with my parents. I will never forget stopping at a little cafe in North Florida, sitting at a counter to have some lunch, and a man walked in with a small alligator on a leash. You know how some memories just get embedded in your head, and no matter what else happens to you, they stay there? That's one of them. I also remember coming here as a teenager with some of my friends. Now, if you don't tell anybody, I will confess that I actually was stopped for unlawful water skiing. But what happens in Fort Lauderdale stays in Fort Lauderdale. But all those memories and what I've seen in the many, many times that I have come to Florida is a state with enormous potential to really not only prepare for your future, but to set the stage for what America will do to prepare for our future. You know, it's quite astonishing that Florida, the Sunshine State, hasn't been leading not just the United States but the world in clean renewable energy, isn't it? I mean, it's always shocking to me when I see statistics that claim that states like New Jersey actually have more renewable energy than Florida. Go figure. But that's a lack of leadership, an unwillingness to prepare for the future that awaits. I'm also thrilled that Florida continues to grow, third most populous state in our country. But with growth comes responsibility. And how to educate those children, how to provide for preschool, how to make sure our seniors have what they need to enjoy the retirement that they came to be part of here in Florida. So there are real world daily issues that we have to confront, and that Florida needs new leadership to enable it to make the right decisions going forward. So I'm here to talk about someone who understands
service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service.
Hey, what's up, man? Are you here with us?
It has to be boring for you compared to what you've been doing.
Kenny or Matt.
Oh, sorry. It's all right. Do you even need to ask me that?
Guys, you're not going to be able to stay here, so that side of the Where's Carlos? Steve.
Give myself ¿Estás ahí? ¿Dónde estás, Gabriel? ¿De dónde?
This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service.
Bill, we good? Good to go. All right. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Just want to acknowledge, besides the mayor and governor, our partners from the FBI, of course, the FDNY, OEM, Commissioner Esposito, the State Police, and the Secret Service. So today, the NYPD and all of our law enforcement partners responded to reports of a suspicious package at CNN. Our Intel, Emergency Services, and Patrol Bureau Manhattan South responded immediately, secured the area, and began a search of the building. Responding officers identified a device that appeared to be a live explosive device. NYPD bomb squad responded, secured the device, and removed it for investigation. Additionally, there was an envelope containing white powder that was discovered as part of that original packaging, and we're in the middle of investigating that right now. The area has been swept with dogs and equipment and found no additional threats besides the white powder. And working with our law enforcement partners, we responded swiftly to secure the scene. NYPD is currently deploying resources around the city out of abundance of caution. If anyone sees something that looks suspicious, please call 911. Anyone with information about this incident today or about incidents in the New York area, please call 1-888 New York City Safe. We've seen this before, and we've seen worse, and we will not be intimidated, and we will bring these perpetrators to justice. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you very much, Commissioner. What we saw here today was an effort to terrorize. This clearly is an act of terror, attempting to undermine our free press and leaders of this country through acts of violence. I want to make very clear that the people of New York City will not be intimidated, that we're going to go about our lives undeterred, because the very concept of terrorism is to change us, and we will not allow that to happen. You cannot be terrorized if you refuse to allow the terrorists to win. People of this city have shown time and again that they stand up in the face of these efforts to intimidate. And I want to thank the people of New York City for the way they're handling this situation today. I also want to thank our first responders. Commissioner, to you and all the men and women of the NYPD, thank you for your extraordinary efforts today. To FDNY, Office of Emergency Management, our state partners, our federal partners, everyone worked swiftly to address this situation and contain it. I also want to commend everyone at CNN for the professionalism with which they handled this very troubling incident. We, at this time, do not have other credible and specific threats against locations in New York City. I want to let all New Yorkers know you can go about your daily routine knowing the NYPD and all these other agencies are here to protect you. It's important to note that this is an ongoing investigation. As we have more information, we will provide it. But I emphasize there is no specific threat against any other location in this city at this time. That said, the NYPD and all of our partners have reinforced our very clear, visible presence at key media locations around New York City and other important locations. So you will see a lot more police presence. That should be reassuring to all New Yorkers. Finally, I want to say this is a very painful time in our nation. It's a time when people are feeling a lot of hatred in the air. And incidents like this exacerbate that pain and exacerbate that fear. We cannot let the acts of a very few change who we are. It's really important at a moment like this to remember the vast majority of Americans, the vast majority of New Yorkers are good people trying to live in peace with each other. There are a few people, and we don't know who they are today, but there are a few people trying to tear us apart through acts of violence. It is imperative that we ensure they fail. It is imperative that we act as the good and decent people that we are. This is a moment in history that's painful, but it will pass. This too shall pass. But today, the important point is, everyone can rest assured the NYPD and all other agencies are out in force to protect the people of this city and to make sure that they can go about their lives safely. Thank you. Governor Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner. First, let's remember that we have the best police force and the best law enforcement agencies on the globe. And we want to thank the NYPD and the State Police and the FBI and the Joint Terrorism Task Force, the Secret Service, all who have worked seamlessly together and are coordinated. We should take comfort in that level of professionalism that we have in this city and in this state. As everyone is aware, there have been a number of packages that have been received. Last night, there was the Secret Service detected a package at the residence of President Clinton and Hillary Rodham Clinton. They notified the state police and the NYPD. We personally checked on the president's residence in Chappaqua at about 4:30 this morning, and everything was fine there. This morning, obviously, we have the CNN package, and I want to echo the professionalism with which CNN has handled the situation and the cooperation that they brought to the situation. So I would like to thank them for that. This is the world we live in. Terrorism, the attempt to spread fear, is the world that we live in. It is heightened lately. The mayor is exactly right. There are more tensions than usual, but this is the world we live in. Also, a little perspective. The first terrorist attack in New York City was 1993, 25 years ago, was the bombing of the World Trade Center. So in some ways, this is nothing new. We have lived with this for a long time. Actually, my father was governor at that time. This has been a circumstance of being who we are and where we are. We are New York, and we are an international icon, and for some we're an international target. Terrorism only works if you let it work. What they are trying to do is scare us and destabilize us, and we will not allow that to happen. We are New Yorkers. We are smart. We are tough, we are resilient, and we will not allow these terrorist thugs to change the way we live our lives. They fail unless we allow them to win, and we will not allow them to win. Now, as the commissioner said, you'll see increased police presence from the NYPD, from the state police, from the MTA police, from the Port Authority police. You shouldn't be alarmed. There'll be more police on subways, more police on the streets, more police at crossings. As the mayor said, that's not because we know any specific threat. It is just a precaution because we are smart and because we have the best talent on the globe when it comes to this. So we will take every precaution we can, but we will not let terrorism win. Not today, not ever. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I have with me Special Agent in Charge Brian Parman. That's P-A-A-R-M-A-N-N, who's Special Agent in Charge of the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force here in New York City. As the governor outlined, this begins on Monday night with a package that was delivered to a residence in Westchester County. That was responded to by the Westchester County Police, the Bedford Police, and FBI Special Agent bomb technicians. That package was disrupted and taken to the FBI lab. Overnight, late last night, we received word of the package that was delivered to the Clinton residence, or was intercepted before delivery to the Clinton residence in Chappaqua, New York. That is also going to the FBI lab. After that, we were notified by the Secret Service that they had received a nearly identical package in Washington addressed to the Obamas. At that point, we began to take additional proactive steps. We had gone to locations the day before associated with the first individual who was targeted. Today we went out to offices of elected officials, media outlets, television, and in fact, when the package was discovered here in the CNN mailroom, we had NYPD personnel present who were showing them what these look like and what to be on the lookout for. So at this point, we are talking with other FBI field offices, the JTTF, about other incidents that are unfolding in other places. But suffice it to say, it appears that an individual or individuals sent out multiple similar packages. We have been working with corporate partners and the private sector. We've prepared a product through the NYPD SHIELD program, which goes to approximately 20,000 of our private security partners, instructing them on what to look for, what the characteristics are, and renewed tips on handling of suspicious packages. At this point, we're at a very early stage in the investigation. This is being led by the Joint Terrorism Task Force here in New York City with the FBI, the NYPD. We've had assistance from the New York State Police, who are part of that task force, and assistance from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. So it's a big group effort. The incident here today, once the package was discovered, emergency service was notified. They called the bomb squad. The bomb squad was able to safely remove a device contained in that package using the total containment vessel, the TCV, or in simple terms, the bomb truck. That has gone to our range at Rodman's Neck, where FBI Special Agent bomb technicians will work with our people on how to get it to the next stop, which should be the FBI lab, so all of this evidence can be examined together. There is an additional issue which is being worked on now, which is within the package that contained the suspected device is also some kind of powder. That's being tested now downstairs, so the mailroom area is still being contained while we go through the various steps to test that on a field test, package it up safely for removal, and decon that area and anybody who came into contact with it.
We're going to take, just keep in mind that this just happened a couple hours ago. It's still ongoing. So I'm going to take some questions. We're not going to be able to go too deep into it. Yes?
Can you talk about how concerned you are about this seeming political connection between these targets? People who have been criticized by the president?
Well, take a look at who's being targeted here right now. And that's why we're doing this proactively. We're reaching out to people throughout the city, checking with the people that do their security and making sure that their mailrooms follow proper protocol. So it is of concern to us, and that's how come we're reaching out to the right people. Yes? Hold on.
Look, I'm just going to say something broad, because at a time when there's a lot of hatred and division, it does not make sense to exacerbate it. Let's just say this to all public officials of all partisan affiliations. Don't encourage violence. Don't encourage hatred. Don't encourage attacks on media. You could disagree, but you have to show respect for people and air your disagreements peacefully. So, unfortunately, this atmosphere of hatred is contributing to the choices people are making to turn to violence. There's no question about it. And the way to stop that is to turn back the other way, to bring down the temperature, to end any messages about the use of violence against people we disagree with. And that has to start at the top.
Yeah. Again, look, this is a political year. It's a political season. We are weeks from an election. And that's obviously in the air, and that's an obvious fact. But we've been through many political seasons, and we have political differences, and that's actually good for democracy. What is not good is overheated rhetoric, extremism that pushes people to violence. And at the end of the day, we may have political differences, but this is one country. We're all Americans, e pluribus unum, out of many one, and keeping the debate and the dialogue civil is very, very important. And for elected leaders who in many ways set the tone, it is especially important.
Hold on. Right there.
Can you describe what the device looks like that was found?
John?
Sure. Brian Parman from FBI JTTF. So far, the devices have been what appear to be pipe bombs.
If I could, I'd like to make a statement. I know that a lot of the public right now is scared and concerned, and there's a lot of confusion surrounding this. I want to assure you that the reason we are here, because the totality of the federal, state, and local authorities will investigate this thoroughly and follow every lead, and we will turn over every rock, we will turn every corner, and we will talk to everybody that we have to in order to mitigate this threat. The mission of the New York Joint Terrorism Task Force is to protect the American people and uphold the Constitution. The utilization of violence in order to further one's own political agenda is unacceptable to us, and we will not rest until we find this, stop these hazardous devices from being mailed, and bring the individual or individuals to justice. We have no better partners in the NYPD, the New York State Police, and the entirety of the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We will be on this until the day that we find this individual and bring him to justice. I'd like to thank NYPD and our partners on the task force, as well as the United States Secret Service, as well as the U.S. Capitol Police, as well as the Westchester County authorities for the cooperation and collaboration that we have thus far. With that, I'll turn it back over for questions, sir.
Mayor, you mentioned that.
As you've heard, there is a number of devices, and there's a pattern, apparently, to the number of devices. We wouldn't be at all surprised if more devices show up. A device has been sent to my office in Manhattan, which we were just informed about, and that device is also being handled. So again, this is a situation. A number of devices have been sent. They're being handled. We wouldn't be surprised if additional devices are sent. And the device that is been sent to my office has been identified and is being handled as we speak.
Governor, is it related to these other ones? Are they related?
And what do you say to people that are watching the Q&A right now nationwide that are scared to death?
Well, terrorism related, right? Terrorism is an attempt to strike terror, an attempt to strike fear. Obviously, these devices are an attempt to strike fear, hence terrorism. Are they domestic? Are they international? These are all questions that would have to be handled by the investigation. But yes, it was a terrorist attempt. It was a terrorist attack. And as you said, what's the intent? To strike fear. And when they strike fear, they win. That's when they are effective. Who controls that? We control that. We control that. This is not the first time we have been through this. We have been through this many, many times. Literally, as I mentioned before, it goes back 25 years to the first World Trade Center bombing. This is New York. It is part of who we are and part of our profile. So we refuse to be intimidated. We refuse to allow them to make us afraid of going through our daily lives. We have the best law enforcement agencies. We're all working together. We're all here, and we're going to go about our daily lives, enjoying this beautiful city and state, and we're not going to let them win, period. Kate, you had a question?
Two more questions, guys.
Commissioner, was anything written on the packages? What was the return address?
Yeah, Zolan, I'm not going to go into what exactly was on the package. Okay, it was consistent with the other packaging, though. Listen, we have to go back to work, so we're going to give you updates throughout the day. I just want to remind everybody here and all New Yorkers: any tips, any leads, call 911 or 1-888-NYC-SAFE. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Carlos, do you have any more of a description? I know you said two pipe bombs. Is it size or color or wires or?
I saw a picture very quickly, but I don't remember what I saw.
Carlos, do you know if the suspicious package sent to Eric Holder's office is similar to these?
I don't have those details. I'll see what I can find out, but I don't have those details.
Carlos, the mayor said there's improved security in other media outlets. Which ones?
You know what? When they do something like that, what they do is they give the officers the addresses to those buildings, and the officers do what's called directed patrol. So the officer would drive by the building, they park in front of the building, but they're not actually like. So it's more of a.
But for what they said,
This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service. This is the secondary audio circuit for the Reuters live service.